Let's start an argument. Hello, this is Gisele with Let's Start an Argument, brought to you by Lever Brothers Limited, makers of Surf, the suds that leave clothes white and clean. If you have a talent for debate, this is the show for you, because we pay $5 and also send a giant package of Surf to everyone whose argument is used on the program. The Daily Double, of course, pays double the usual award. Now, we've all heard of cases where a bill before the American Congress has been literally talked to death when the minority resorted to a filibuster. And yesterday, J.B. Walker of Victoria Island, British Columbia, started an argument about where the term filibuster came from. The answer is that filibuster comes from a Dutch word meaning freebooter, a pirate who wages unlawful war in quest of plunder. Incidentally, Senator Ellender of Louisiana holds the record for a filibuster in the United States Senate. In 1938, he held the floor for 6 days, talking steadily for a total of about 28 hours. That sends $10 and 2 giant packages of Surf to J.B. Walker of Victoria Island, B.C. Surf gets everything so clean, so sweet and clean. Why, even with your eyes shut, you can smell the cleanness of your surf-clean clothes. Now for today's first argument. Mrs. Irene Arsenault of Wellington, Prince Edward Island, wants to argue about whether an intelligent man has more brains than a stupid one. That sounds a bit simple, doesn't it? But does the brain grow from exercise? You're as pleasant as the morning and refreshing as the rain. Isn't it a pity that you're such a scatterbrain? When you smile it's so delightful, when you talk it's so insane. Still it's charming chatter, scatterbrain. I know I'll end up apoplectic, but there's nothing I can do. It's just the same as being in a hurricane. I know my life will be so hectic, I'm so much in love with you. Nothing else can matter, you're my charming scatterbrain. But there's nothing I can do. It's just the same as being in a hurricane. I know my life will be so hectic, I'm so much in love with you. Nothing else can matter, you're my charming scatterbrain. No, the brain doesn't actually grow the way arms and legs do. This is a case where quality counts more than quantity. The size of a man's head is no indication of whether he's a blockhead or a genius. Well, that sends a crisp new $5 bill and a giant box of Surf to Mrs. Irene Arsenault of Wellington, Prince Edward Island. Laboratory tests show that Surf, even without rinsing, actually gets out more dirt, the kind you can see, and also invisible dirt, grease and scum. Because it gets out this hidden dirt that other suds leave in your clothes, it gets your washes sweeter by far than any other leading wash day suds. You can smell the difference. Try it and see. Our second argument today is from Mrs. E.C. Watling of Calgary, Alberta, and it's about rhubarb. Mrs. Watling would like to argue whether rhubarb is a fruit or a vegetable. Well, there's rhubarb pie, but then we make pies out of, well, sweet potatoes, too, and they aren't fruit. One morning in May, don't forget, dear, that one wonderful day when we met, dear. The world was blue clover kisses that came with the flame of springtime, burning your name in my heart. Precious to me like a rosary. Now that we're apart, one morning in May, to remember the love smolders away to an ember, and dreams perish, we'll still cherish that one morning in May. Strictly speaking, rhubarb is classed as a vegetable, not a fruit. The plant originally came from Asia. Well, that argument sends $5 and a giant package of surf to Mrs. E.C. Watling of Calgary, Alberta. By the way, have you tried this latest wash day trick? Try rinsing just once with a little surf in the water. It keeps clothes sweeter, longer. If the shoe fits, put it on. We've all heard that piece of advice, and it's a good idea, too. But Mrs. Gladys Dempster of St. John, New Brunswick, wants to get down to cases. What is the actual difference in length between a size 8 and size 9 shoe, she asks. Is it 1 inch, half an inch, more or less? Feels like a big difference when you're wearing a pair that's a size too small. Put on an old pair of shoes and we'll go walking down the alley. Maybe we'll run into Sally and the crowds we used to know. Put on an old pair of shoes, and even though our clothes look baggy, we'll go down and call on Maggie and Joe. We'll always find fair weather as we make the rounds together. The old crowd don't care whether we're broke or in the dough. We'll find the dreams left behind in all the old familiar places as we mend the broken laces of an old pair of shoes. Well, the difference between a size 8 and a size 9 in a woman's shoe is about 1/6 of an inch. That sends a crisp new $5 bill and a giant box of surf to Mrs. Gladys Dempster of St. John, New Brunswick. Women everywhere are switching to surf for washes that are not only whiter than ever, brighter than ever, but sweeter too. Yes, even when you have to dry your wash indoors, you'll notice the wonderful fresh air sweetness surf gives your wash. The sunshine freshness that means every trace of dirt and scum is gone. If you like a good argument, why not help us start one? Remember, for every argument used on the show, we pay $5 and send you a giant package of surf as well. The Daily Double pays double the prize. So why not join in the fun by sending your arguments to Let's Start an Argument in care of this station. In case of duplication, the first letter opened is our choice, and letters not having accurate postage can be accepted. I don't suppose this will be the first or the last time that the weather has formed the basis for an argument, but here goes. Bob McKenzie of Hamilton, Ontario, wants to know just what is meant by humidity. You know, the old saying, it isn't the heat, it's the humidity. Sometimes it's high, sometimes it's low. What exactly is humidity? waters of the Caribbean lives a lovely little Latin queen. In her bathing suit she can be seen strolling down beside the sea. But her bathing suit never got wet, and she was an admiral's daughter, and always so close to the water. But her bathing suit never got wet. Then one day, imagine her surprise, clouds began to gather in the skies. There she stood just like a frightened pup when the heavens opened up. But her bathing suit never got wet, for there on the sand was a fella, and he had the biggest umbrella. So her bathing suit never got wet. Then a boy whom she had snubbed one day got revenge, and in the sweetest way turned the hose upon this Latin beaut standing in her bathing suit. But her bathing suit never got wet, for while she was weeping and screaming, she woke up and found she was dreaming. So her bathing suit never got wet. Then one day she broke the golden rule, climbed the ladder of the swimming pool. There she stood, and as the people roared, she dove off the diving board. But her bathing suit never got wet, and oh, what a lesson it taught her. What good is a pool without water? So her bathing suit never got wet. Humidity is the amount of vapor in the air. When it is given in relation to the weather, the amount of vapor present is measured against the greatest amount possible for the given temperature. $5 and a giant package of surf go to Bob MacKenzie of Hamilton, Ontario. Surf, that's the new wash-day wonder you've heard so much about. There's never been anything like it for getting clothes not just whiter and brighter to the eye, but fresh air sweet to smell. Time now for our daily double. When a girl gets married, she gets a lot of new clothes, and that's called her trousseau. Mrs. Mary Heroff of Davidson, Saskatchewan, wants to argue about where we got that idea. Well, this is the argument we're leaving with you until tomorrow, when we'll be back with the answer. And don't forget, send your arguments to Let's Start an Argument in care of this program. If they're used on this transcribed program, you can win $5 and a giant package of surf, or double the prize for the Daily Double. Let's Start an Argument is brought to you by Lever Brothers Limited, makers of surf, the suds that gets clothes sweet and clean. This is Gisele saying goodbye for now. I'll be back tomorrow at the same time, same station, with Let's Start an Argument.